your hostess with the most, Annabelle, as always. Welcome back. So we are doing another movie review from my 2019 binge extravaganza. I am actually going to be talking about my number 114 movie, a first-time viewing, and also a blind buy for me in Bloody Birthday from like 1980, 1981, depending on where you look at. So yeah, like I said, this was a first-time viewing for me, and I actually picked this up a few weeks ago at my local half-price books. It was an Arrow release. I actually have it right here to show off. It was an Arrow release and everything. It was pretty inexpensive and everything, and I figured, why not? So yeah, I was not really expecting a whole lot out of this one, because I was like, okay, you know, it's kind of earlier end of like slasher movies, but I knew already by this point when this movie came out, there's so many sort of horror movies and whatnot and slashers and stuff coming out that some of them aren't always that great. Some of them not expecting much, and it turns out to be actually pretty decent, just like this. So this was a little hidden gem for me. I'll admit. Now I have to say, the title is a little deceiving. Bloody Birthday. There is a birthday party in this, but there was no bloodshed. There was nothing that really happened. There was something did happen, but not what you would think. So basically, this movie, and I know the description too. I think even somewhere on here, yeah, Bad Seed meets Halloween, which I don't know. I feel like Halloween, not quite so much, but definitely it's very much kind of like Bad Seed. The Good Son, even though The Good Son came out a good like almost 15 years later after this, 13 or 15 years later after this movie, with a touch of like Village of the Damned, depending on what either version of Village of the Damned that you've seen. And what I mean by that is, so there's one night that these three kids are being born unrelated. They're not like part of the same family or anything, but they're being born right in the middle of an eclipse, basically a nighttime eclipse, and of course, you know, that affects them, gets them all crazy and everything. And the reasoning that they explain of why these kids are the way they are, and they have no sort of like empathy or any sort of like regard for consequences of their actions and whatnot, is basically because during this eclipse, Saturn was completely blocked with how like all the planets and moon and sun and whatnot are aligned, and Saturn is supposed to basically, I guess, according to astrology, is the planet that determines sort of like your emotion and everything, like how emotional you are or lack of emotion. And because of this one planet that was blocked, these kids have no emotion. They have, you know, like I said, no empathy, no regard for other human life or consequences and everything. So yeah, they're just little freaking child psychopaths, basically, going around fucking killing people for no fucking reason. Yeah, these little fucking kids are evil. This is why I do not want kids, because I watch shit like this and I'm like, hell no, am I gonna like possibly bear have a kid that could potentially grow up and start fucking killing people. Highly unlikely, I know, but shit happens. No, but this is actually a pretty decent one. I'll admit, nothing spectacular. I'm pretty sure not everyone's gonna like love this movie. It's kind of one of those where it's like either you're gonna kind of, yeah, you know, not too bad, or you're just like, that was fucking stupid. It really could go either way, you guys, on this movie. If you guys have seen this and don't like it, I kind of get it. It's a little cheesy. It is a bit cheesy. And the one kid in here, one of the kids that's a killer, wears glasses and everything. I'm thinking, like, yeah, no wonder why you're fucking, like, killing everyone, because if you weren't, everyone would be, like, picking on you and beating the shit out of you like they should be, you little shit. I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, God, children are our future, aren't they? Whatever, I'll say it again, he's a little shit. All three of them are little shits. Oh, and that's the thing, too. That's the thing, like, while you're watching this, even if you're not, even if you are, like, a pretty big kid person, watching these kids and how they manipulate the adults and everything in certain situations. Like, the little girl will be like, oh, she's crazy. Oh my God, she's saying this. And totally getting the parents to, like, believe her. Each one of these kids, these three kids, like, you just keep thinking, like, you are a little shit. You should be fucking beat up. And I'm not saying that, like, kids should get beat. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, he beat the crap out of the kid. Like, I'm totally against that. But these little kids, if one of these characters would have just broke and beat the shit out of these kids, I would have been like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. No, but it's a pretty decent one. Like I said, not everyone's going to enjoy this one. I liked it just because, you know, it was a little something different, especially when you look at that time when this came out. You know, you had your Jasons, you had your Michaels and everything. Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't out yet, but, you know, and then you had, like, these other sort of rip-offs, so it's, like, a lot of these kind of, like, you know, and a lot of these, too, I love, you know, like, the Prowler and stuff, but it's, like, you could see, like, the sort of trend of, like, okay, mass killer or some sort of killer and killing people. It was a little, you know, even now to see this movie, it was kind of, like, a little refreshing to see something like this that came out early 80s, beginning of the decade, and it wasn't quite like all the other movies. Obviously, like, yeah, we had other child killer movies and everything, but for that time, it's actually pretty decent to see something that's tried to do something a little bit different. And I'm not even sure, I'm assuming this doesn't have a sequel, but we definitely were kind of left at the end. I don't really want to spoil it for those of you who have not seen it, just because I've heard people kind of, like, talking about this, but not too much. I won't spoil it for you guys, but I'm surprised that they didn't um, actually make a sequel. And if there is, like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see anything about a sequel. I I think this would have been one of the few instances where a second one, even if it was, like, the following year, kind of would have liked to see it, just to sort of see what they would have done, but we never did. I'm not, like, destroyed by it, but whatever. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Bloody Birthday from 1980, 1981, whenever it came out, in the comments below. Till next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.